This is episode 213 of the Super League pod. The co-host curse is back, and this time it's doubled down, with both of us having losses to recap. If that was hard enough to find humour in, we're also forced to cover the Sean Edwards saga, as well as a couple of serious injuries in the news. Fear not, though, the rest of you can get plenty of laughs at Wigan's expense, a little at Leeds too. Enjoy the show. I'm off to buy a Canberra jersey. Episode 213 of the Super League pod. Mark here, along this week with Sarah. Sarah, the curse is back and it's hitting us double hard as both our teams lost this week, but at least we're both here to front up and talk about it. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks. How about you?
Yeah, tired. We'll get to that after I've let you know that this episode is proudly sponsored by Little Warden. If you have a website, then visit littlewarden.com and see what they can do to help you. They can help you with domain expiration checks, redirects, and all sorts of other important background web stuff that they'll make simple for you. Little Warden, monitoring the tedious. Yeah, I'm tired because I went out on Saturday night with some of my old school friends in Manchester and got the last train home and from Manchester to Preston. But the last train, Sarah, went from Manchester Piccadilly to Manchester Oxford Road. Then the train driver got off.
Right.
Because he wasn't allowed to take the train further than one stop. But no other train driver materialised.
Okay, so did you have a go at driving the train?
I would have. I don't think I would have got very far. If I'm honest, I wasn't in much of a driving the train state. But we ended up having to wait for coaches, and instead of getting home at around about 10 to 1-ish, it was about 3 o'clock by the time I got home.
That's rubbish.
It had been a great day until that point.
That's nearly as good as Peter last week. It took him 2 days to get to Prague. And when he was stuck in Amsterdam, they sent a 7-seater taxi to take the entire plane to the hotel.
Did they misunderstand 7 and 70 then when they were trying to?
I think they must have done, yeah.
Well, I don't feel bad about my Saturday night now. After that, 2 days to get to Prague. That's crazy.
Yep.
So, you haven't had any travel delays of your own, though, over the last week? You're all caught up on that sort of stuff?
Yeah, just waiting for, Friday night M62 closures when we start travelling again.
Good point. Well, what we've got coming up on the show, we have got... We'll get to a catch-up with you in a second about our friends, the Might and Warriors Juniors, but just to let everyone know that in the news section, we're going to have a recap of the cup draws, and yes, I will be commenting on the non-news situation at Wigan and the head coaching position for 2020 as we go along. We'll get fan reviews that cover every game in Super League, so great effort from you lot again sending those in. In other results, it's got the return of the NRL, so we'll talk about how our players got on over there. But first, Sarah, it's been a few weeks since we've had you on the main show, so I wanted to catch up with you a bit about this couple of SLP shorts you did. And then about how Joshua's Might and Warriors side are getting on. So you did 2 shows, didn't you? An interview with Dave Woods and an interview with John from Community Integrated Care. How did they come about and how did you find them?
So Dave Woods started following me on Twitter randomly, so I decided I'd take the opportunity and ask him if he'd like to be on a show, and he said it sounded like fun, so we sorted it out. Had a bit of technical difficulty.
No one knows. We managed to edit that out.
But he was very nice about it all and had a good chat. It was really nice to talk to him, actually. And then John had got in touch with us to ask if we were interested in learning more about the Learning Disability Super League. So, again, I had a chat with him about that and the plans that they've got going forward. So I think that's quite an exciting thing.
Yeah, they were both really good. I definitely enjoyed putting them together and putting them out there. And I suppose we'd encourage anyone, wouldn't we, to get in touch with us if they have any rugby league topics to maybe give us a bit of an interview about and stuff like that. And, we can always try and find some availability for more, can't we?
Yeah, it was good, actually. I really enjoyed doing them.
Excellent stuff. And I think you seemed slightly less nervous on the second one after you'd got one solo run under your belt.
Yeah, I think like the recording not working quite as I'd anticipated, and the knowledge that I was interviewing Dave Woods, who does this sort of thing all the time. I think possibly like the two things working together had added to my slight nerves.
I was more commenting on how self-assured you were in the second one rather than your nerves on the first one. So
Okay.
Come on, you keep giving them these, like, pulling back the fourth wall or whatever it's called. Might and Warriors then, how are they getting on as the season's getting very close now, is it? The pre-season's finished, is it?
No, not quite. So they had their first pre-season friendly on Saturday against Holderness Vikings. It was an away match, and it is like the back end of beyond and absolutely freezing there. So I was quite pleased that Peter took Joshua for his match. They didn't win; they lost, but they seemed quite nervous. I think it was just playing on a full-size pitch and new rules and everything. But I'm sure most people won't be terribly surprised to know that Joshua talked a lot and controlled where players were going and what players they were playing and things like that.
Excellent. So he's grown into his role as the halfback.
Yeah. He was the starting halfback this week, so that was really good. And he loved it. Then he's had training again tonight, and they've got another 2 friendlies lined up before the season starts.
Oh, well, plenty of time to hit the straps and get the confidence going, and it's good to hear of Joshua's progress. I think, unless you've got anything, that's all I had written down for the opening of this week's show. So, Shall we move on to the news?
Let's do that. Okay, so the first piece of news is that Keighley Cougars have been handed a West Yorkshire derby date with 5 times winners Bradford Bulls in the Challenge Cup 4th round. The game will be streamed live on BBC Sport and will take place on Sunday the 31st of March at Cougar Park with a 2:45 kick-off. Community Club Loch Lane from Castleford travel to Batley Bulldogs for another all-Yorkshire encounter. Fellow amateurs Featherstone Lions will be at home to Doncaster, and Thatto Heath host North Wales Crusaders, whilst West Hull go to Dewsbury. These ties will all be played over the weekend of the 30th to the 31st of March. So the full draw is Keighley against Bradford, Whitehaven against Rochdale Hornets, Featherstone Lions against Doncaster, Barrow Raiders against York City Knights, Hunslet against Halifax, Featherstone Rovers against Swinton Lions, Sheffield Eagles against Lee Centurions, Dewsbury Rams against West Hull, Workington against Newcastle Thunder, Thatto Heath Crusaders against the North Wales Crusaders, Batley Bulldogs against Loch Lane, and Oldham against Widnes Vikings.
Yeah, a few all championship games there, but I think the one that jumps out the most to me is the Crusaders derby. The Crusaders versus the Crusaders. Hopefully, if that one gets like filmed on our league or something, they'll use the first names for the little abbreviations in the corner rather than Crew v Crew.
Yes. Also, of succinct names, are they?
No, exactly. Also on the cup theme, Sarah, the 1895 Cup final, that's been confirmed that's going to be played after the Challenge Cup final at Wembley this year. So the RFL have confirmed that it's going to come after the final. It's understood the governing body did prefer it to have been before as a curtain raiser, but due to conditions put in place by Wembley, they would only allow the game to take place at a later time. I think being able to fit everything in as well up to that, to get the Challenge Cup final to kick off at the right time and that sort of stuff has played a part, I suppose. But the first round draw is what's been pulled out as well for the 1895 Cup this week, and that draw is Hunslet versus Workington, Oldham versus Whitehaven, Doncaster versus West Wales, and Newcastle Thunder versus Keighley Cougars. And we had a view in from Tom Andrews on this, which I'm guessing we might echo slightly, actually. Tom said, venue, great, idea, great, scheduling, stupid. The only people staying in London will hang around for this, and even then Wembley prices will still send some away, making the stadium look emptier than a Huddersfield home game.
Yeah, can't disagree with him.
No, it's strange. It's strange. It doesn't feel like it should have been after. And it's almost like, did they really think through the scheduling of everything when that came to pass? When they announced this, like, did they just want to get something good out there because it is a good idea?
Yeah.
And then it feels like we're taking steps back whenever something positive happens, something negatives, or just right on its coattails. So I agree with Tom as well on that one.
Yeah, definitely. So Wakefield will make redevelopments of their Bellevue home ground after being granted a £3.15 million loan to buy back the freehold. They plan to revamp the home, now known as the Mobile Rocket Stadium, after proposals for a new stadium failed to materialise, and a £12 million refurbishment plan was unveiled in 2017. Paul Chamberlain said, "You mean they actually paid for it? Given the Widnes debacle, not sure why councils are loaning money to private enterprises. What could go wrong?"
Well, I think the council own it at the moment, so it's almost like they're lending their money to get to pay it back to them. So, unless I'm mistaken, because all the arguments and stuff recently have been about the council, haven't they? Not doing anything with Bellevue, but they're not doing anything with any of the other sites that had been proposed. So
yeah,
so it seems like it's win-win for the council. They get paid, that they're giving money to get paid back for something that they own. So if the loan isn't paid back, then they still have the ground. So I think it's possibly win-win for the council, and the council aren't going to want to spend money on what does need a massive revamp for it to really be fit for the modern world. So it's interesting. Do you actually think this is just another false dawn though for Wakefield?
I don't know. It feels like it because it's been a lot of years that they've talked about it, isn't it? And they got their license to stay in Super League based on redeveloping the ground, but they've not really done a lot with it, have they?
Well, they all they've done is emergency stuff that had to be done to make the ground be able to be open. It feels like in the last few years, rather than any actual improvements. Yeah, it's hopefully it gives them a platform to do that from, though, because I suppose they'll be able to start making more money from the ground if they own the ground, which is a bonus. And if they can make money, they can use that money to reinvest. So they've been run relatively well over the last few years. Let's hope it isn't another false dawn in the ongoing ground saga. Okay, Castleford Tigers forward Nathan Massey has signed a new 2-year contract which will expire at the end of the 2021 season. The 29-year-old has been at Cas since the age of 15, making over 200 appearances for the Tigers. Tom Andrews said he seemed much happier since Justin Carney left Cas, winky face. And then Adam Conley 87 said, very happy Massey has signed for 2 more years, ever present since Powell took over. While not spectacular or flamboyant, he does so much that goes unnoticed, seems to get better every season, and hope to see the best of him over the next few seasons.
Yep. Regan Grace has signed a contract extension at St Helens that will keep him there until the end of the 2021 season as well. Tom Andrews says, think he's overrated personally. Looks good in the 3 highlights of the season he produces. Will be in the Great Britain team at the end of the season just because he's Welsh.
Yeah, I
kind of agree with Tom.
Yeah, I totally agree with Tom. I'm surprised our Welsh supporting friend Tim hasn't been in touch to give a counterpoint to that one. But yeah, I agree too, Sarah. Just another contract line to slip in before we talk the sad injury news. Wakefield Trinity prop Craig Kopchak has signed a new contract until the end of the 2020 campaign. The former Wales captain, who's 32, joined Wakefield from Salford in October and has featured in all of their Super League games so far this season.
Yep. Hull KR prop James Greenwood has been ruled out for the rest of the season. He ruptured his ACL in the win over Wakefield on Sunday. last Sunday, must be.
Yes.
And we'll have surgery in the coming weeks.
You see what's happened there is I've just copied and pasted a news article from like the middle of the week, Sarah. Not realised that by the time we spoke about it, there'd be more Sundays gone.
Yeah. Tom Andrews says, gutted for him.